Michael Downs. American taxpayers currently provide for those on welfare. The 20% of American welfare recipients admit to drug or alcohol abuse. Everyone in this room has parents who pay taxes. Many of us have jobs for which we pay taxes as well, part of which goes towards welfare programs. A welfare reformation bill should be implemented. First, I will explain my welfare proposal. Next, I will tell you about single mothers and children on welfare. Finally, I will tell you about welfare misuse. I strongly believe that my welfare reformation proposal would be beneficial to working class Americans. First, I believe the United States should require drug tests for those using welfare. Welfare recipients could be given a 3 days notice, and they could take the test at their workplace or would be otherwise exempt from work. I also believe that the United States should offer rehabilitation to addicts on welfare. This way, welfare recipients could receive welfare in exchange for rehabilitation attendance. According to Dr. Sabrina Pitt, executive producer of Human Resource Foundation Party, a PhD in her area of study. And her study states, in factors influencing early withdrawal from drug and alcohol treatment program, and client perceptions of successful recovery and employment. In September of 2018, states that rehab has been shown to reduce substance use, to improve overall psychological and physical health, and to promote success in the workplace as well as at home. Lastly, I believe that the United States should require a personalized and reasonable time period for those on welfare. For example, a single parent may need more time on welfare than someone living alone without a dependent. This would give more time to those who need welfare for a longer period of time. It would only further limit those who are capable of providing themselves in a shorter time span. The most controversial thing about most welfare programs is that they're believed to target some of the most legitimate and needy users. The main target that is unintentional in most welfare reformation programs would be single mothers and the children dependent on welfare. The AFDC was started in 1935 by Franklin Delano Roosevelt during his New Deal. Shortly after the Great Depression, when the AFDC was started, or the Aid to Family with Dependent Children, many of the recipients, in fact, most of the AFDC users were single mothers who worked but couldn't provide for their children still. FDR and others expected these numbers of recipients to decline with the economic progression of the United States. But actually, the numbers skyrocketed. According to Deborah A. Dawson, PhD and editor for the National Institute of Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, in her article, Alcohol and Drug Abuse, Use and Dependence Among Welfare Recipients, in October of 1996, stated that in 1936, the first full year of the AFDC, there were 534,000 users, which was 4.2% of the population. But in 1993, the year of Bill Clinton's election, there were over 14 million, which was 5.5% of the population. And this was in a time of economic prosperity. However, in 1996, the TANF, or Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, was started by Bill Clinton, and the AFDC was abolished. This kicked many users off of welfare. It also decreased the amount of support or the duration of support for many other users. However, with the welfare reformation policy that I previously mentioned, a set time would not be implemented on specific users. Therefore, single mothers would not be targeted, as they may have a longer period of welfare than others that could take advantage of it. And many do believe and have no problem with supporting those who need welfare for as long as they need it. But not all welfare users need welfare for as long as they use it, or need it at all, even though they use it. There are many problems with welfare misuse in the United States. As quoted by Justin Germain, TANF expert and research assistant for the social policy research firm, MEF, in his article, Opioid Use or Disorder, Treatment, and Barriers to Employment Among Welfare Users, in February of 2018. Those who live in poverty are much more likely to be addicted to opioids than those over 200% of the federal poverty line. Painkillers are also very likely to be misused by welfare users, or by those living in poverty as opposed to anyone else. In fact, it's over twice the rate. An Oxford study in 2004 also showed that the duration of time that welfare users use welfare is often much higher than legal or expected according to surveys. A welfare reformation policy should be implemented. First, I explained my welfare reformation proposal. Next, I told you about single mothers and children on welfare. Finally, I explained welfare misuse in the United States. With my welfare reformation proposal, let's turn that 20% of welfare misusers to 0%.
8:16. 1, 2.